This is Pure 1, Chapter 4.7, the last subchapter of Chapter 4. In the whole chapter, you've learned how to sketch cubic graphs, quadratic graphs, reciprocal graph, don't forget the asymptotes, and then you've learned about translation graphs and stretching graphs and also reflecting graphs. So they are all the transformation that what you've done in 4.1 to 4.6. So before we start, I'll let you have a go, a bit of recap in the starter. Write down the geometrical transformation that is represented by each function. Okay, so pause the video and have a go. Okay, if you struggle with the answer, you can either wait for my answer or you can go back to your previous pages and of your notes and have a look. But hopefully you do remember them in your brain. Here are the answers. Okay, if the plus a is in that bracket, means a horizontal translation by the negative a. So remember, positive a means move to the left, negative a means move to the right. X is rebellious, we do things oppositely. So plus a means move left. Plus a, however, on the outside is about y, vertical translation, and y does things, straightforwardly. Plus a means move up, negative a means move down. F of ax multiply horizontal stretch by 1 over a. Again, x is rebellious, so the opposite 1 over a. And vertical stretch by a. Now, the last two is the one that confuses a lot of people. They keep forgetting. When you have a negative x in the bracket, that means you're affecting the x coordinates. So to reflect something that affects the x coordinate, you have to reflect in the y-axis. Okay, so same for that one. When a negative outside, that means it's affecting the y coordinates. Therefore, you have to reflect along the x-axis. Okay, so I don't know, man. Sometimes I just don't want to move it. Example, a dull man, Mr. Fan, surely it can't be me, I'm not dull, made a sketch of a slide he saw in a park. The curve of the slide can be modeled as y equals f of x. That's such a geeky thing to do, I'll never do that. Sketch the graph of y equals f of x plus 1. So here's a graph, okay? So if you know the answer, you can actually have a go and try it yourself, okay, before listening to me, waffling here on and on and on. So A, sketch a graph of y equals f of x plus 1. So y equals f of x plus 1. We know it's a translation. So we say we're moving to the left by 1. So the graph move to left by 1 will look like, so move to left by 1. That point, minus 5, 6 becomes minus 6, 6. Minus 6, 6. That one is minus 1. Okay, so the horizontal asymptote, does it move? It doesn't, okay, because it only affects the x coordinate. So minus 1 and minus 3, I can't do maths. This one is minus 6, 6. Okay, right, next one. Part B, sketch graph of y equals f of 2x. F of 2x is a stretch in x direction or horizontal stretch by a half. We do things oppositely. So a half means affects all the x coordinates. So minus 5, 6, so affect all the x coordinates. Okay, so minus 5, 6. I'm going to write it down maybe in here. Minus 5, 6 becomes minus 2.56. There are 3 key points in here. The next one is minus 2, 0. Now it becomes minus 1, 0. Then minus 5, sorry, not minus 5, 0, minus 5 remains unchanged. 0 minus 5 unchanged. Or you can say unchanged in here because 0 times a half is just a half. Now 0 times a half is 0, sorry. Forgive me, I said I can't do maths. I don't know why you're listening to my video, Right. So minus 5, 6 becomes minus 2.56 and minus 1, 0. So the shape remains of unchanged, really. What it matters are the points in here. Minus 2.56. That's minus 1. Oh, and that one's still minus 5. Okay, so y equals minus 5 remains unchanged for the asymptotes, right? Question C, sketch y minus 1 equals f of x. So y minus 1 equals f of x. What transformation is this? I've not learned this. Well, you actually had, if you move the plus minus 1 to the other side, f of x plus 1, then suddenly becomes something is more recognizable. It means we're moving up by 1. Okay, move up by 1. So when we move up by 1, it affects all the y coordinates. That means the minus 5, 6 will becomes minus 5, 7. This minus 2, 0 becomes minus 2, 1. This minus 5 move up as well becomes minus 4. Okay, so we're going to draw this out. So this one has to be a minus 4. Okay, this is a key number, and this one minus 5, 7. Now, the minus 2, we're not going to draw it in there because the minus 2 is the number minus 2, 1. We usually only mark down the x-intercepts, the roots, or any points given by the question. Now, this point, even though it's given by the question, minus 2, 0, but it's actually given as a root, as a number that crosses the x-axis. So we don't have any information to work out the new value in here. Anyway, so moving on. Part D, sketch 5y equals 5x minus 5. So we can do that. So part D, 5y equals f of x minus 5. If we divide by 5 across, that's a fifth of f of x minus 1. So there are two transformations in here. The first one is we're doing a stretch in x by, not stretching x, sorry, stretching y, because the fifth is outside by a fifth. And then we're moving down by 1. Okay. Now, if you're wondering which one goes first, it's the one closest to f of x goes first. If it's inside bracket, we'll do the things inside bracket first, and then when you get closer to f of x, which is a fifth, and then you do the minus 1. Right. Right. So we are going to stretch. Okay, so we are going to stretch y by fifth. So let me do it one by one. So stretching y by fifth, that means we're affecting all the y coordinates by a fifth. Okay, so the original, is there a way I could copy the original? Right, took the question down. So here you can see the original graph. That's original. Okay, so we have stretched by y by fifth. That means all the y coordinates we have to multiply by 1/5. So minus 5, 6. So minus 5, 6. If you would like to do some of these jottings, you can. Okay, 6 times a fifth is 6/5. Okay, minus 2, 0. And change. Minus 5, that one. 0 minus 5 becomes, when you times a fifth, becomes 0 minus 1. So therefore, it will look like that. Now, there's some key numbers. This one is minus 5, 6/5. This point is still 2. This point here is minus 1. Okay, so that's f of, so that's the first step. We stretch y by a fifth. Okay, and then we have to move down by 1. To move down by 1, things a bit easier, hopefully. So move down by 1. This 6/5 is 1.2. So if we move down by 1, this minus 1 becomes minus 2. That point, minus 5. 1.2 take away 1 is 0.2 or fifth. You can write that point is no longer there because the 2 moving down, it will be somewhere here. So that's all. That's the final answer. Okay. Right. So next one, exam question. Okay. Pause video. Sorry, it's a bit blurry because of resolution of the screenshot I've taken. Pause video. Have a go at the question. When you're ready for the answer, you can press play. So here are the final answers. Okay. If you got it right, well done. That's the end of the lesson for you, and that's the end of the chapter 4. Good job. But if you don't, let's go through why. Okay, so you can pause the screen if you want to check your answer. So I'm going to move on and explain. So let's have a look. In this question, we're given the function itself, the formula, the equation. We know the minimum is 327. So it has a maximum of 327 and cuts the x-axis at point A. So when they say cuts the x-axis, that means y is 0. Okay, so to find the solution, find the x-intercept, we make y equals 0. So when y equals 0, we got x squared times 9 minus 2x equals 0. So there's a hidden bracket in here. So x squared equals 0 or 9 minus 2x equals 0. Bring a 2x over and divide by 9, divide by 2, so 9 equals 2x, divide by 2, x equals 4.5. The question wants us to write as a coordinates, therefore we must write as a coordinates. Okay, if you just got 4.5, that wouldn't give you the marks. The mark, just one mark. So it's quite brutal if you got it wrong. If you got 4.5 but you didn't write as a coordinate, you lose the mark. Yes. Part B, okay, on a separate diagram, sketch a curve with equation f of x plus 3. Now, part I, f of x plus 3, hopefully you do recognize what transformation is this. With this one, we're moving to the left by 3. Therefore, all the x coordinates are moved to left by 3. This origin becomes -3. So I'm going to use the answer from the top to show you. 0, this point, 0, is now at -3, 0. Or actually, let me just in color. So this 0 becomes here. This 327 moved to left becomes 27, 0, 27. This was 4.5 or 9 over 2. Take away 3 becomes 1.5. Right? Part BI, f of 3x. F of 3x means a stretch in, it means a stretch in x by a third. So all the x coordinates multiply by a third. 0, 0 times a third is just 0, 0. So that point remains unchanged. 327, because it affects the x, so you multiply all the x coordinates by 3. So 3 times, by a third. 3 times a third is 1. 4.5 times a third is 1.5. And there we go. Okay, now part C is slightly tricky one. Okay, part C. Let's have a look. The curve with y equation f of x plus k. Now, did not tell you what k is. So, however, you should know what transformation is this. This one is either we're moving up or down by k. Okay, we don't know if it's up or down. If k is positive, we move up. If k is negative, we move down. Okay, but what we do know is that it now has a maximum point of 310. That means the graph suddenly becomes, that point 327 suddenly becomes just here, 310. So that point 327 is now 310. So then surely, because we know the graph has been moved up or down, actually, I've drawn the graph incorrectly. Yeah, make it look better. Yeah, because moved down. So that 0.00 be moved down as well. Sorry, the whole graph be moved down. So all we do know is the graph has been moved down by how much? It's been moved down from 27 to 10. So that means 17. It's been moved down by 17. Moved down by 17 means k has been negative. Therefore, k has been negative 17. Okay? So you can write explanation for yourself. All right? And that's the end of lesson. Yay.